You join us in the interval here in the afternoon concert at the Ham, where we've just heard the beautiful music of The Weaving being Maeve, Cart and Owen, who join me now. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you for that absolutely beautiful music that we heard this afternoon. Two of you are Irish. You're from Yorkshire.
I am, yes.
Do you feel a bit outnumbered?
A bit outnumbered, but I can fight my corner.
There's a lot of Irish culture and Irish mythology and mysticism and politics in your music. How does that go down in wherever you're from?
Well, I think the people of the north of England, as well as people of Wales and Scotland, have a certain affinity with people of Ireland, as you know, the traditional music and culture has survived a lot better there, and the community is a very important part of that. So I think we can kind of connect through that.
The Irish, I'm more familiar with the Irish tradition and the Irish, it's almost Homeric, the story of Ireland, isn't it? And that legendary and that sense of resistance is a fundamental part of the Irish identity. Cart, is that an important contribution to the content of your work?
It would be, yes. Yeah, we're very proud of our roots and what we feel the culture holds for health and for connection in our communities. And yeah, this I suppose with consumerism and so many things pressing in on us in today's world, we feel that our music and our song and our dance is a resistance to this, in terms of saying, like, we have everything we need, you know, within our communities, and we have, keeping close to our roots and our locality. We don't need all this external stuff. We're proud of where we come from. We have connection to place, to each other and to our art, which makes us very vital and very healthy communities. So, absolutely.
But that trivial consumerism is sort of true globally, isn't it? It's all over the world. Do you think, and I'll ask Maeve, do you think that Ireland, because of its unique history, has a particular resistance to that bland consumerism?
Possibly. Well, the music comes from it's a traditional music, so it comes from the people. And it comes from the hearts, and it nearly comes from the ground. So it's very grounded, and so it is when you're encapsulated by the music and by the tradition, you kind of forget what's going on outside, and like Cod said, you don't need to be consumed by what is external when you have it in your heart already.
I was just listening to the whole mood and the voice of the thing, the sort of lyricism of it. What I was reminded of was W.B. Yeats. I thought W.B. Yeats was a really big influence on what you're doing. Would that be fair, Carl?
Well, funny enough that you say that, because I mean, we've never really discussed Yeats, but Yeats would be one of my favourite poets, and I deeply connect with his work. And I see he was inspired by the Irish tradition, like the Irish language and the older Irish songs. He would have taken a lot of the ideas he worked with in his poetry and presented them in a beautiful, maybe more accessible way for the globe, you know. So he is coming from the mythology, and I'd say we even go further back than Yeats, you know. We're coming from even an older place than maybe Yeats was coming from. But yeah, deep inspiration, Yeats is for me.
Would you be causing riots at the Abbey Theatre?
Oh, I'd say we would.
Unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
You say that you're going back further than he did into the Irish mythology. Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm leaving you out here. We'll talk about Yorkshire in a minute. You're going back further than he did. And I was thinking of the whole sort of Finn McCool cycle, because there is a Homeric cycle. I don't know why people study the Aegean when they should be studying the Irish Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. That whole Celtic, not just Irish, but the west coast of Scotland as well. Yes. That whole ancient, unwritten mythology. Yes. You're making that still alive, Maeve.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely, it definitely comes from an ethereal place, and it just comes from a soul. It's a soul language, and it's an old language that we're channeling through the music, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to connect it with the English. The English and Irish are together in what we do.
We're uneasy neighbours for quite a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like Cod has mentioned before, that it's a healing process that when we can sit side by side and sing and play